guys, welcome to Beer with Friends, because beer with enemies would be awkward. I'm Aaron Gore, certified Cicerone and full-time human.
Josh Hayward, host of Beer with Brewpreneur, proud South Carolinian, and retired homebrewer. Don't do that much anymore.
And I'm Steph. I love beer. I also do a little bit of marketing and stuff too, specifically for craft breweries. My company's called Sweet Tea Craft Marketing.
Pretty cool stuff.
Thank you for joining our commercials. Now that we've all plugged our stuff, that's the end of the episode. All right, guys, so what do we got today?
Beers.
Yeah, some excellent flagships from a few breweries.
All in the Carolinas.
Yeah, all in the Carolinas, not just North Carolina. I made that mistake in the last take. So I think we're going to go ahead and start off here with NoDa's Hop, Drop, and Roll. NoDa Brewing Company right here in the Charlotte area where we are recording this. Hop, Drop, and Roll was really kind of the beer that put them on the map. One of the gold medal. Yeah. Thank you, Steph. It was the beer that won him a gold medal at the World Beer Cup. For those of you who are not massive nerds, World Beer Cup, pretty much the most prestigious beer competition in the world. The name is indeed appropriate.
Oh, look at this gentleman.
I've been called that by many people.
What a gentleman.
None of whom are
What a guy. How about this glassware, too?
Special shout out. Very nice.
Special shout out to our friends.
Cheers to our friends at
Amortization. Yes, amortization.
Shout out to our friends who let us.
Amore Artist has actually been nice enough to let us record here. We actually have one of their beers on here as well, so stay tuned for that.
Just a little,
look how nice these glasses are. They're adorable.
They are adorable.
I'm definitely stealing these. So, cheers, guys. This is our Hop, Drop, and Roll West Coast IPA.
This is one of the first beers we've reviewed that I've actually had before.
Well, why don't you lead us off? Give us your review, Steph.
It's good.
Well, all right then. You heard it here first. Hop, Drop, and Roll
all done.
Is good.
Yeah, it's super hoppy.
Yeah, so you're definitely getting some of those grapefruit notes right up front. I find this one also tends to have a little hint of pine and definitely some kind of a resiny note as well. It's not just grapefruit, not just citrus.
Not raisiny.
Resiny. Weed. Smells like weed. But not a ton like weed. It's pretty well balanced, and I think that's one of the things that made it so memorable, and it's one of the reasons that it really kind of helped launch that company to become one of the larger breweries in the state.
It just makes your whole mouth kind of shrivel up inside, huh?
You really have a way with words, Steph. That sounds so appealing.
Yeah, I love the pininess in here.
Drink, hop, drop, and roll. Your mouth will shrivel.
Yeah, great pininess, great resininess. Especially in the Charlotte market, a lot of stuff is going more towards the hazy style and all these different crazy IPAs. Great to still see a solid West Coast style. You take a sip of it and you're like, yeah, that's a great hop bitterness. Absolutely love it.
That brings up a question that I have that I've been embarrassed to ask in tap.
No embarrassment here whatsoever.
I know.
Wait till I ask where babies come from.
Everyone's like, West Coast. Do you like? I say, I like an IPA. What IPAs do you have? And they're like, well, do you like West Coast or New England style? And I just pick one.
Which, hey, at least you're able to pick one. Some people do just freeze up, and it's a good question.
I just say I think I'll try that New England one. I don't know.
So without turning this into an entire episode about the origins of IPAs and how far away from the original versions they've gotten, this would be a whole hour.
If you really want to blow your mind, try an old style English IPA. I mean, it tastes nothing like
a black IPA, or a white IPA, or a Belgian IPA, or a red IPA.
We'll just go all the races of IPA.
It could really expand to pretty much everything. But no, so West Coast versus a New England style. Really, West Coasts are kind of one of the formative beer styles that really kind of built American craft beer. So they first started really taking
all right, no history lessons. Just tell me what's the difference.
So anyways, a West Coast IPA is definitely going to be more on the bitter side. It's not going to be real hazy at all. It's going to definitely have some citrus notes, but it's not going to be all about aroma. It's definitely going to have more of that bitterness, more of the things you actually have to taste.
The hops are on display here. As you can see, it's pretty pale, so they're using a lot of pale malt in there. They're not overly malty. You're not getting a lot of sweetness there. They really want to highlight the bitterness that comes from the hops.
Okay, and New England just in one sentence.
Well, a New England IPA doesn't pronounce it's ours.
Very well done. I like that.
So a New England IPA is going to be, it's the same thing as a hazy IPA.
Hazy
so they're going to be a lot hazier, not nearly this clear.
Okay, so the New England is hazier.
Fuller in body.
The West Coast is more hoppy and bitter.
Yeah, so the bitterness is going to be the key to the defining characteristic. Right. So yes, West Coast will tend to be clearer, but New England IPAs are going to be less bitter, more on the aromatics, more of those fruit and citrus notes
has
right
been
in the
good.
nose.
All right.
Something else the New
Thank you,
England
guys.
style does is perceived bitterness. They hide a lot of the bitterness in some of the other things in the beer. It makes it a little more approachable for folks.
Sneaky bitter.
Yeah.
So especially if you're just getting into craft beer, New England IPAs can be a really good entry point to really kind of figuring out some of the aromas and flavors that hops can contribute. Because that bitterness from a West Coast IPA, for a lot of people, that's a tough hill to crest. So it's a good way of kind of getting yourself into it.
Now, I don't know what you would eat with a hop drop, but I feel like a big, huge burger would be awesome with something like this.
American style pub food in general tends to
yeah.
be great. So pizza, big juicy burger,
Wings.
hot dogs, or wings are all pretty
Oh.
spot on for West
Yeah.
Coast IPA. Pretty much
I
anything
like how
you
we're
think
doing the
of-
food pairing now.
I
It's
do. It
great.
kind of became a thing.
Yeah.
All it does is
'Cause
make
I'm
me
hungry,
hungry.
so-
Yeah. If we
always
ever recorded this with a full stomach, we'd be like, what would you pair it with? I don't know.
Nothing.
A nap.
A nap.
A nap, yeah. All right, so what's next up?
So I think this one's fantastic. Like,
Oh, sorry.
just in general, talking about this one, if you're looking for kind of a benchmark East Coast version of a West Coast IPA, as if that sentence wasn't
Oh my
confusing
God,
enough.
no. I thought I just
This is
had it
definitely
figured
She
one
out.
of
thought
the
she
ones that people
understood.
know.
It's gone now.
2 seconds.
Yeah, you can make them anywhere. Remember the last episode where we were talking about
It's the
Pilsners and you can make them
style.
anywhere?
Okay.
Exactly. That West Coast IPAs obviously kind of came up on the West Coast. New England's kind of came out of New England, but at the end of the day, you can make them anywhere.
Can you hand me that can?
This one?
Yeah. Thanks. Let's take a look. Did we read all the numbers? Let's see if we can find them on here. Oh, look, nice and big and bold, easy to find.
Easy to find. Funny that.
7.2 and Beer Cup gold medal winner, as mentioned. Yeah, this is they have cool cans. I like their
It's got a very like mid-century modern kind of aesthetic to it. I love that kind of like 1950s throwback style.
I don't know if the whole style to me rings 50s.
It's literally
The
like
car.
a
The
car
car
from
from
the
the
1950s.
That is, but I don't find the style to be like this.
No, the
like,
font's
they've got
very
the little
much
font
not.
and this like
The
dent
pastel
drop
to a degree is
shadow
but
thing
yeah.
is almost a little more hipstery, but yeah, I think
I love hipstery as a description
it
of the
doesn't
entire
really
aesthetic
go.
style.
That's
It
yours.
doesn't
I know
really
what
go
you
with their
mean, too,
logo
yeah.
to me. They've got this sort of grungy kind of look,
It's
and like
definitely
this,
got a bit of an early
and
90s
this are a
vibe to
lot
the
more
logo.
smooth,
Smooth! And they are in the art district of Charlotte as well. NoDa
which is
the
a
art
super
district,
cool
so it fits in well.
area and place to go hang
Got
out.
a lot of
with.
art on display in the brewery and whatnot too. So
Are their
big
cans all
proponents
different
for that.
colors?
They're all different colors, and they all follow a very similar aesthetic as
Yep.
far as the layout and the art form. So very, very identifiable pretty much across
Cool.
the board.
Yeah.
Love it.
So next up, what do we got, Josh?
We've got the New Belgium Dayblazer Easygoing Ale. New Belgium out of Fort
Try not
Collins.
to drop the can.
Oh, we're good. Fort Collins, Colorado, and Asheville, North Carolina. Can't say I don't think I've ever had this beer.
Really?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, this is one of my favorite like shower beers or
Oh, yeah?
lawnmower
a
beers.
shower
or,
beer. That's perfect.
Nice.
I don't know,
Thank
just
you,
woke up
Josh.
from a midday nap beers, assorted other occasion
Sure.
beers.
That's why it's called the
That's-
Easygoing Ale.
That's
It's
like
good for any
it
time, right?
describes you perfectly, Aaron.
Easygoing or
Super easygoing.
yeah, that's something I've been accused of often in life.
So this one rings in at looks like 4.6 or 4.8 ABV.
Yeah, those are the smallest letters in the world.
Yeah, it kinda-
by the way.
kinda
Yeah,
blends
they buried
together.
it in
Look at
there.
that.
Oh my goodness.
Almost like a little bit of like a Mayan or Aztec kind of look to the can.
Yeah, with the sun and everything.
Totally,
It's
but
kind of a cool look to it.
Yeah.
what? But that takes up the whole can, and the information you want is
Oh, you care about the alcohol content? If I still feel good after 2, I just try harder.
That's going to be another quote. If I still
Yeah.
feel good after 2, I'm just going to try
okay.
harder.
Let's smell it.
So it's like super crackery on the nose. I'll admit,
What'd you call me?
Oh, I gotta find a different.
That one
word.
never gets old.
It's super saltine on the nose.
Yeah.
But a biscuity, I guess, would be a better term for it. But I'm a real sucker for that kind of malt character.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a lot of like Helles lagers where they just lean in. It just smells like a flatbread almost.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love, and this one leans right in that direction.
I'm getting light hints of citrus. Like almost like if you did lemon zest.
Yeah, and it
Just a
does use
little bit.
American hops in it, and they're pretty light. But yeah, you're gonna get that off of those. It's not really well hopped. It's definitely.
I need to
a
trade my
blonde
nose
ale.
in for a new model.
It's all about training. All about just.
It's all about making it up and hoping people take you at your word if you say it confidently.
That
It
works
barely
too.
even smells like beer. Like I don't hardly smell anything. I think my
It's
nose
pretty
is
light,
broken.
and it's meant to be. I mean, this is a blonde ale. This is meant to be your go-to everyday beer.
wow.
It is
Wow.
super just crackery, smooth, and you're right, just a touch of that citrus. You don't get a ton from
Incredibly smooth.
the yeast. Smooth. Yeah, so
No,
this
it
is the
just
kind of thing
dances
a
on the
warm day.
palate. I mean, just goes down really, really light and easy. Like you mentioned, good lawnmower beer,
Yeah.
good yard beer, something.
And
enjoy on a
honestly,
high
Lawnmower.
day.
The fact that, I mean, our weather down here can't decide if it wants to be
Oh.
85 degrees or 55 degrees. You got to keep a little for each season in the fridge. So I feel like this
Exactly.
one's hitting spot on for what you'd be looking for.
No
Pool
doubt
beer.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
good pool beer.
Because you
This
want a
would be great pool
low,
beer.
you want a low ABV anyway for the pool.
Unless you really want to be having a good time, you know?
Well, you got to pace yourself. You're gonna be out there all day.
I mean, there's pacing yourself and there's pacing yourself. Really, what do you have to do if you're already at the pool midday?
Drowning is a thing.
Yeah, but at least then you won't have to care.
Hey, we didn't even.
This took a dark
didn't
turn.
even-
I still got a little bit.
Cheers,
so
guys. Cheers. Cheers, Steph.
Good call on this one, man. I'm gonna have to look for that one now that I'm had it. And
And I like the idea that you're able to get a 15 pack of something you're probably going to get 15 at a time and drink. So, you know, at that point, you're just maximizing efficiency. So.
Dayblazer seems like sort of a fitting name too. That's kind of what
Sure.
we're talking
It
about.
is. I'm not sure what it means, but for some reason, it sounds appropriate.
Easygoing.
If I had to do a name pairing with this beer, this would be what I would pair.
What is Dayblazing? And oh, maybe this is supposed to be
I'm
like
not sure
the
they
sun.
know what a
Yes, the sun.
Dayblazer means.
It's the sun, so it's just like this is what we're talking
And,
about.
I'll controversial statement just say that New Belgium, not one of my favorite breweries of the larger national ones. They're one of the ones I tend to buy the least, but this one I really do like. For a good fridge beer, I mean, it's a maintenance
Yeah.
beer. Yeah, you just want to grab
It's
a
a
beer, you want something to
maintenance
drink, it's a good one to grab.
no doubt about
100%
it.
employee owned. That's cool.
They were.
They were.
Yeah, that just changed.
Not anymore.
Now
I'm
owned
glad
by,
I mentioned that
Yeah, owned
then.
by Kirin out of Japan. There's a bit of controversy about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Kirin bought them?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So Kirin has some connections in
Kirin.
Kirin.
Good beer.
Has some connections in Myanmar with the government there, notoriously repressive government. So once that sale goes through, they're probably on the canceled list. But for now, grab up what you can from the store.
Politics
Glad we were
and
able
beer.
to endorse it. Yeah,
You
we
heard it
really
here.
wanted to mix that. Way to go, Steph.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we got next, Steph?
Grab this. Mama's Little Yellow Pills from Osaka Blues Brewery.
She's on the Japanese. Japanese.
my
thing
God.
there. Try
From
it
now on,
again.
I'm calling them Osaka Blues Brewery.
Try it again.
Jillian, you now work for Osaka Blues
Oscar?
Brewery.
Oscar Blues. It's a brutal font.
That is it. I'm pretty sure they found that font in 1995, decided not to change it
Osaka was
since.
my bad, but like it's still kind of a brutal font. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the lighting is not the best. So Mama's Little Yellow Pills. We've got a 4.7. Mama tried. That's what it says. We'll see if she.
Mother tested, drunk approved.
We'll see if she passed. There you go, fellas.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I always go back
Beautiful.
to childhood,
One
but I
of
gotta
these-
admit, we didn't have any beer in the house.
One
in
of these
childhood,
days
so.
we should do an episode
Family
on how to
doesn't
pour
drink?
a beer.
No.
I know that feeling.
No. We
So-
should do it. That could be a whole episode.
Yeah,
man.
What?
the beers our parents wouldn't let us drink. I like that theme.
My
It'd just be
dad,
nothing but
my
barley
dad doesn't
wine.
drink beer, and my mom will drink a Yingling.
So, still not drinking beer.
Not quite.
Burn!
We're from Pennsylvania. Yingling's.
Oh yeah, at that point it might as
have
well be
to.
water. It comes out of the taps in eastern Pennsylvania. like
yeah.
Allenstown, they don't even give you water.
At
It's
least
just
she ain't
Yingling.
drinking Iron City. You ever had?
No one
Yin's
should be
ever
drinking
had-
Iron City.
Yin's
I'm just
ever
going to
had
say
Iron
right now,
City?
we're not even going to review. Actually, we should do just a crappy regional beer review. Old style, Iron City, Utica Club.
Oh,
We will
man.
have a lot of fun with that.
Pack it in, pack it out. It supposedly means to recycle.
So they do, yeah,
think-
it's a camping term. So pack it in, pack it out basically means when you go out
Oh.
camping, you bring it in with you, but then you make
I
sure
don't
that you
care.
take it with you when you leave.
I like air
They
conditioning.
definitely lean into the
Being outside, outdoorsy.
outdoorsy kind of element. They're from Colorado originally. They do have a brewery in Brevard, North Carolina. But yeah, Oscar Blues in general, Dale's Pale Ale is one that most people are super familiar with. Mama's Little
that's
Yellow is
their
kind of
big
their
one.
other flagship. One of my absolute favorite. This is another one that has those super biscuity malts. Biscuity, not crackery.
Biscuity.
Switched it up a little bit on you.
So, but this one also leans in with the Zotz. It's a Czech hop, very spicy, hints of black pepper,
It
touch
is a
of
little
floral
spicy.
notes. And
It's
it
nice.
really just all comes together in something that for me, this is one of my absolute favorite beers. You'll almost always find this in the fridge. Sierra Nevada Pale, we've talked about my love of that beer.
Of course.
This isn't displacing that beer. But in my fridge, if it's not Sierra Pale,
that
it's
your go-
almost always going to be
Is that your
Malt.
go-to
Really?
pills?
That's my go-to pills.
Yeah.
It's definitely on the more biscuity side. It's a little more malt forward than a lot of examples are, but I absolutely adore this. It just plays to my particular tastes. So you'll almost always see it in there. And they did a reformulation on this like 2.5, 3 years ago, and it went from being a beer that was utterly forgettable to one of my absolute favorites.
Really?
Yeah.
I
And they
love
did it
it.
quiet too. They didn't really tell
I
anybody.
love
either.
it when a brewery can do that. Kind of take something that it's been okay, but hey, let's take it back to the drawing board, back to the recipe,
And they kept the same name and everything?
Kept the same name.
At what point is it a different beer?
Oh, it's 100% a different beer, but they've also been building equity since the 90s, so I'm not going to fault them on keeping it. I'm just appreciative of the fact that they managed to take it and turn
Get it
it
right.
into something
Tweak
so
it,
good.
get it right.
Yeah. It's one of the best reformulations I've seen in a beer, especially a large-scale beer, pretty much ever.
What do you smell besides
biscuits,
biscuits?
crackers.
When we say
and
biscuits, we mean more like water cracker,
Yeah.
Like the English definition of
that's
biscuit.
cookies.
Like when you say biscuit,
No, English people call that a cookie a biscuit.
no, well, a biscuit is
Totally do.
so a biscuit is
you're
basically
derailing his explanation.
it's biscuity. It tastes like buttermilk biscuits.
Yeah, we're in
And
the South.
sausage
We know what a
gravy
biscuit
right in a
is.
glass.
Don't make me go to Bojangles and show you.
Oh, I want Bojangles so bad right now. We've been talking about food for 2 hours now. That's all
Yeah.
I want.
This you can drink with anything.
Actually,
speaking
this
of
would pair
food.
beautifully with Bojangles biscuits and gravy.
No
Or
doubt.
Bojangles fried chicken. Or Bojangles
Chicken
Bowberry
biscuit,
biscuits.
though?
Or Bojangles Cajun filet biscuit.
Wow.
I can go through their
It's
entire menu. I love Bojangles
It's
so much.
upsetting how much you know their menu.
That when you're hungover, there's nothing better than Bojangles. Is that or like a sausage,
Waffle
egg, and
House?
cheese McMuffin? I'm not going to Waffle House when I'm hungover. I already have stomach problems. I don't need to double up on it.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, biscuity, crackery, even a little bit of, you can't smell spice, but you're
it's
kind of set up
definitely got
for
some
There's
it.
a
that
little
black
spice
pepper
in there,
note,
though. I do taste it. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
it's not quite as smooth.
Smooth.
as the other
So
ones.
that the Zatz hops, they're pretty much the hop you see in Czech style pills. Pretty much like if someone's calling something a Czech style pills, like a Czechoslovakian pills, and they are not using Zatz, then it's pretty much not fitting
How do
the
you
style.
spell that word?
SAAZ because
Wow.
yeah,
Boys
because
from the
Slavic.
South. Boys from the South call that
Sounds
Saz.
like you're pronouncing it backwards.
You would think
That's a good way to remember how to pronounce it.
that really kind of is, but it does lean on some of those like hints of black pepper, a little bit of a floral note, a grassy note.
Does it say that on here? That it's
It
that
does
kind?
not, but
Because I feel like that would tell you a lot about what you're going to get.
which in general with a Pilsner, it's either going to be that or it's going to be another what they call the noble hop varieties. So you also have Spalt, Tettnanger, and Hallertau Mittelfrüh. Without having to know any of those names, really what you need to
Good.
know is you're getting into something that's going to be on those grassy side, a
The
little
upper
on the floral
echelon of
side,
hops.
and not super
Noble.
bitter.
Noble
Yeah, so
hops.
these days when the term noble was really meant to denote the fact that they had favorable characteristics. In the modern era, it's mostly a holdover and really, really good marketing. But honestly, yeah, they have kind of a predictable range of aroma and flavor characteristics you can expect. So if you have a traditional Pilsner, whether German or Czech, you can expect one of those 4 noble hops.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
am I really
Yeah.
little or is this a big can?
It's definitely a big can.
Huge. Huge. Just looks small in your
Thought it was
hands.
little. I have teeny hands. Teeny tiny hands. This is a normal sized can, everyone.
Oh man,
I
the
see.
ones that make the rest of these, these are like airplane cans.
Sure.
Those little half.
Yeah,
remember
those
those?
airplane
little
cans.
half
You get the little
size.
can of
Snack
Coke?
cans,
Yeah.
yeah.
That is a freshly canned
It's all
crowler.
sweaty and glistening.
So the perks of filming on location is the guys at Amore Artists and girls, Alex, Jesse, did not forget about you. Being able to be here, they were able to pour us something fresh. So we got one of their kind of core lineup.
So fresh.
Plant Candy Spruce Tip IPA.
Yes.
If you watched the Behind the Beer episode that I did with Travis Tolson, owner and head brewer here, then you'll definitely remember me raving and making inappropriate noises over this
It
beer.
really made me want to try it. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Delicious.
I watched that episode.
I have 3 crowlers in my fridge right now, so if that should tell you something about how much I love this beer, that should tell you something about how much I love this beer.
You guys mind if I pour?
Please do.
please.
I-
You're
I would
already
not
holding
mind
the
that
can.
at all.
I love like you said that like it's some huge
I
privilege.
know.
All right. So this plant candy, like Aaron said, 7.5% ABV from our friends here at Amore Artists, and it is an incredible beer. Been a while since I've had it.
Made with Alaskan spruce. Travis, you're in the corner there. Is that Alaskan spruce? Alaskan
Yes.
spruce. I knew it off the top of my
Cheers,
head.
Travis.
Look at
Thank
that
you.
beer.
Cheers. Beautiful
Cheers,
color,
guys.
beautiful haze. That's got like such a rich yellow
Get in
color
here.
to it.
Yeah. Nice
It
hit
is
on that beer, too.
pretty. It's like a gradient.
It really kind of is. The deeper you go, like you get around the center of the glass, it just really deepens up nicely, reflects the light well. And that spruce just comes through. It's piney, but it doesn't lean on that super
Oh my
lemony,
gosh.
sharp pine that you get out of
Pine needles are sharp.
You do. Well, indeed. Technically, pine needles are sharp. You heard it here first.
No, it's
It is a
Whoa.
lesson every day here.
amazing
We should
freshness
sign
on
up
the
for an
nose.
educational drink.
Absolutely love it. I'm like walking in a Christmas tree farm.
It is.
Oh my
and
gosh,
it
how
does.
old
It
are
has
you?
such depth to it as well.
In your memory.
I'm 33 now,
No.
Is this a childhood memory
but
for you?
this is your childhood memory. Here you go.
We need a specific graphic for childhood memories for Josh.
I'm not in Alaska walking through the spruce pines, but I am at a Christmas tree farm. Walking through there. Smell nice spruce. Nice.
I live across
nice
the street
pininess.
from a Christmas tree farm.
Do
I
you
will
really?
say though, it's not overly piney on the palate.
No, it's not.
You get a hint
sharp.
of it. You get
we
a
have
nice subtle
some
hint.
white spruce will lean so sharply piney that it drifts almost into lemon zest. A lot of people don't realize that citrus notes and pine notes actually derive from a lot of the same chemical compounds. So a lot of white spruce.
I didn't know that.
Science rules.
It will. Science rules.
I do
And
like science.
So
We
pine
need a
can
Bill- we
read
need a
as
Bill
a
Nye
sharp,
graphic.
almost bitter pine note if you really
there's a
turn it up
bitterness.
a notch. And this one definitely has a bitterness, but it's also well balanced. It's well rounded. It even has a touch of almost earthiness. It really complements
I
well.
taste it on the back of my tongue.
You get a little candied sugar note on
Yeah.
the backside as well.
do not.
It
Let me
goes
try that
really,
again.
really well
Let
with
me
the
find that.
spruciness.
One of the things I like the most about this is it's also a bit of a throwback. So when people first started colonizing North
I
America,
just found it.
There we go. She's looking for it now. Boy, this would be a bad time to tell her that you were screwing with her.
No, I mean, yeah, you could be totally.
So when people first started colonizing North America, hops are a notoriously finicky thing to grow,
Gosh, we're
and
going
wild
back to the
hops
colonies.
we're going right back to the
Hey, we did
colonies.
science, now we're doing history.
Yeah, we're taking you for a whole journey.
That's
here.
one of the great things about beer. You incorporate all facets of life. It's social, it's
Exactly.
historic, it's scientific, it's
Barley
everything.
wine is life.
Yes. Our producer, 2 thumbs up.
But yeah, so when people first came to North America, a lot of times wild hops were hard to come by. It was hard to cultivate or
to
impossible
grow,
to cultivate hops over here.
These hops are wild.
Well, spruce tips were actually used for bittering beer for a lot of early recipes. To this day, there's
but-
still some breweries on the East Coast that really
Just the
lean on
tip,
them.
though, right?
Just the tip.
I thought
You
so.
don't want to do the whole spruce, just
Mm-hmm.
the tip. Whole spruce, it gets a little much, but just the tip.
Just
Take
the right
it
amount.
easy.
Excellent. Love this beer. When I first had this, I tasted it, and I talked to the guys here. I was like, flagship? It's going to be flagship?
And now it's part of a core lineup.
There you go.
As of today,
I love it.
we heard from the owners.
Incredible.
I
beer.
love the fact that we're
Flagship.
basically taking the option out from under them. They were fully planning on never making this beer again. Now it's going to be everywhere. Everybody's going to see it. This is a flagship. When you think of more artists, think plant candy.
Oh,
And
wow.
considering this brewery is 10 minutes from my house, I will be very, very happy.
That was a great day. I'm sitting at work, going through some mundane tasks, and I saw the release on Instagram. Plant Candy is back. I'm like, yes, the day is so much better. It was excellent.
So where is a more artist at? Like just physically, what
Fort Mill,
town?
South Carolina. Fort Mill is a small town, kind of farming town, just outside of Charlotte,
Basically
North
a
Carolina.
suburb of Charlotte.
Basically
though.
sits
Would
on
we
the
call
line.
this a farming town anymore?
Not
don't think
anymore.
so.
Not anymore. But you
I'm
guys,
pretty sure that Travis
got-
and Steve, who own this place, are the only people actually from Fort Mill. It
was
was
gonna
just
say-
the two of them.
I was gonna say you got Springs Farm there. They're still
That is-
cracking.
that
man.
is true. Great
As a matter of
features.
fact,
Those-
Amore uses a lot of Springs Farm's ingredients in their beer, which is
And
great.
they do foraging in the local greenway as well. and pick up
Local
a lot of
helping local.
ingredients.
It's absolutely incredible.
Which is awesome. It
For those
really
who don't
brings
know,
a sense
the
of place.
border of North and South Carolina has a little zigzag in it, a little jig-jag, and
That's where
Charlotte's
Fort Mill is.
right in one of those little notches, and Fort Mill's just on the other side of it. So
Yep.
my family lived in Fort Mill for about 20 years. My first place out on my own was on Spring Street, right up the street from here.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
but it was crazy because you can drive around here and you can drive down one street and it will say, "Welcome to North Carolina," and you keep driving and it says, "Welcome to South Carolina," and then you keep driving and it says, "Welcome to North Carolina," because borders are weird.
And honestly, if you keep going, it'll say welcome to Georgia. And then you're like,
Eventually.
I went way too
Eventually.
far.
And another fun fact, I lived in Atlanta for a while, the peach state of Georgia, and I never saw a peach. There's
South Carolina
peach
actually
farms
produces more
peaches
peaches
than
per
Georgia.
capita.
Yes.
Take that, Georgia!
Yes.
Boom! Get that peach off your
I
license.
really hope we get angry letters from at least one person.
One
in Georgia.
Georgian.
To be fair, we have the Palmetto on our license, and where's the last palm tree you saw?
There's a lot of palmetto
I'm not.
bugs.
I know
depending
the
on
whole
time
history
of year.
behind that, but I'm not
Palmetto
going to go
bugs.
there.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for some brewery to do a Palmetto lager. I haven't seen it yet, but it's coming, no doubt.
Like a heart of palm lager.
We'll
Like
see.
a cockroach
We'll
lager?
see.
If only a whole lot of breweries right now have a whole lot of tank space they're not using.
Ooh, convenient, right?
Hey, Travis, we're doing a palmetto tree lager.
Let's do it.
We have approval.
He's
More
in.
artists is doing it. You heard it here first. If you
in.
don't see it, call them with angry yelling, phone calls, emails, texts,
We've
protests outside with signs.
yeah, this is
March.
good. This is different. It's very different to me.
I'm gonna have some more.
I wish
Yeah,
I
so it
would've-
definitely reads IPA. You're not losing that IPA quality to it, and is well hopped as well. But that spruce just
I didn't even know
adds
this was an
a
IPA.
little-
Yeah.
And well,
Why didn't you tell me, you guys?
I think we did. It even. Oh, it does not
doesn't
say
say.
on there. Could have been anything. Candy of the plant.
Candy of the plant.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, those spruce tips really just add a little bit of a earthy, kind of almost natural tasting note, I guess would be the best description for it.
Earthy and natural freshness.
It does kind of take you outside a bit. Fresh is a really good way of putting it that I
like
really
the-
like and I think enhances the entire product.
It's like the inside of a taxi cab with the little
What?
pine tree air freshener.
What, that's where you associate freshness?
Not
Is the
at all.
pine tree air freshener in a taxi cab?
So I go to childhood.
Do you know how many people have
was a
died
joke.
and or possibly been conceived in the back of a taxi cab?
Kidding, Aaron.
That's excellent.
This beer tastes like the back of a taxi cab, ladies and gentlemen.
Drink up.
In the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
I promise it's a clean taxi cab. It's an Uber. Oh man, so no, absolutely fantastic. So going over the beers, Steph, what are kind of your favorites top to bottom? Give us kind of your opinion.
Well,
Be wary that the people from More Artists are sitting
Yeah.
just off camera
yeah, I
staring
know it's a
at
lot
you.
of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Good news is, it's a good beer. I do love a hop drop, and I do like this. I do like the bitterness. I feel like I don't want to be like obsessed with food, but I feel like I need a snack with it though. Like I need something salty with this and the hop drop.
Just kind of cut that bitterness a bit.
It does it well, like per drink. Like a drink is good, and then you have like 3, 4, 5 sips, and then
Yeah.
you need something to kind of cut it a little bit to like refresh your tongue.
And I
don't know,
promise
is
at
that a
some
thing?
point we're going to do a beer and food pairing episode.
Well, we
And,
kind of
like,
always do,
Beer
but
definitely
These two
has a
were a
place at the dinner
little
table.
boring to me, and that's probably my untrained palate. But they're
And
just
we've talked about that sine wave before when it comes to beer is when you first start getting into it, you get more and more into crazy, more intense flavor. As it comes down, you start appreciating some of the subtlety.
yeah.
The
And that's-
Mama's Little Yellow especially is
I
definitely
totally
a
get
good,
that. I
good
did
subtle
prefer
flavor.
this over the Dayblazer. I thought the Dayblazer was a little. It
Flat.
just wasn't much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little like lemon water or something. But I could see drinking it at
Wow.
at the
Oh
pool.
man,
Like
like
that's a good.
lemon water.
I can see that being like a pool beer for sure.
Yeah.
And this one was decent. I didn't hate any of them.
By the way, our podcast can no longer be shown in Japan. Way to go.
Osaka.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
the
Between the Osaka comments
blues.
and just shooting at Kieran. I mean,
So yeah, I like the bookends.
the IPAs, all right. How about you, Josh?
Oh man, this is really hard. Of course, when you guys ask me this, I always say it's hard. But the big thing for me is
you do.
the very, very
'Cause you're
different
too nice.
styles.
Say
here.
one bad thing about a beer.
No,
ever. No, I want to hear it.
Don't
No,
make it.
she gave me that nickname.
We're gonna
on our
do
first
Bud
episode
Light,
for a
and I want to
reason.
hear you say one bad word.
Oh, I
What did I call
almost
you?
said a bad word, but my army almost came out, but I
man,
stopped.
that was
we got to keep
quick.
it PG for some of the youngins, right?
What was your
And
nickname?
did not get demonetized.
What was the nickname I gave you?
You call me the Jimmy Fallon of beer reviews
That's
because I
right.
never say anything bad about a
perfect, yeah.
beer. No, I like as far as Charlotte goes, like it's hop drop. You know, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like my favorite out of all of these, it's the plant candy, no doubt about it. It's kind of hard though to choose one because they're very different styles depending on what you're in the mood for.
We do kind of have two categories.
You know,
here,
you
too.
come home from a long day.
The bigger the
Give me-
can, the hoppier
Well,
the
let
beer.
me have a Dayblazer or a Pils.
not a rule.
You know, something quick. But
Yeah.
if I'm wanting to relax and enjoy a nice beer, it's plant candy all day for sure.
Nice.
I can see that with the pine stuff though that it might be certain times of year you might be more drawn to this than others.
Yeah, so there's another brewery here in the Charlotte area that their winter seasonal is actually a Spruce Dip IPA. So you're 100% right.
Spruced up.
It's Spruce. That would be a good name.
I
Trademark.
love that. Spruced up. It's a
Stephanie
spruced
Hudson,
up IPA.
2020.
Lock it down.
But no, like for me, that plant candy is right where my head's at. I love Spruce Dip
It is really
IPAs
good.
just as a general category. And there's not a ton of them, but I absolutely just love anything that's got spruce dips in it. And that blue spruce just has, in my opinion, a little more well-rounded brewing qualities. Hello, this is Amore Artist. Aaron speaking. Thank you. Would you like to buy some beer?
To Aaron's point, if I can share, he got a crowler of this the other day, and like I saw him complaining, I'm out, I need more.
And so we literally came back to record so I could get more.
So we could get more,
And
yes.
by the way, I bought that one. I also have another one I'm taking home. So I love that beer. Aside from that, Mama's a Little Yellow. And again, I provided 3 of the beers here pretty
Yella.
much out of my existence.
Yella.
Sorry, Mama's Little Yellow pills. I absolutely adore that beer. It's one of my favorite beers, especially when if I'm reading about beer, I'm just, studying beer, which is something, given what I do for a living, I do pretty commonly.
Who doesn't?
That's one of my favorite go-tos.
You know when I'm reading about beer.
When you're here? But no, Mama's Little Yellow is easily one of my favorites. Plant Candy is easily one of my favorites in the city. Hop Drops Classic, Dayblazer I enjoy, but
So
yeah,
you pick
those
all of
two
them.
for me. No, these two for me are definitely the ones I'm going towards, but you really can't go wrong with any of them. This is definitely probably the least aggressive of them though. So if you're just looking for an intro to craft beer, Dayblazer is a
easygoing.
perfect way to go. It is easygoing. It's almost like it says it on the can.
Yeah.
Well, all right,
Exactly.
guys. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Check out new episodes coming out however often we decide new episodes need to come out. Also, check out our website at beerwith.me. All of our new episodes.
Don't say that's like sounds like Instagram.
Stephanie's going to be handling the remainder of this conclusion.
Beerwith.me. Not .com.
That's
Go
the URL.
beerwith.me for the Beer With Me network, and you can find more episodes of this series. You can find Josh's Brewpreneur. You can hear more Aaron talking.
No one wants that, but you
I
can.
mean, if you can't get enough, like me, then go there. You can hear more Aaron talking all by himself and stuff. Yeah, there's all kind of good things, and we got a few other fun things coming up on that website.
Gonna
So
be
definitely
great.
go to beerwith.me.
And again,
Appreciate you
special
guys
thanks
tuning in.
again to Amore Artists for letting us
Yeah.
use their space.
If you find yourself anywhere in the Charlotte area,
check them
definitely
out.
check them out.
It's worth the hop over the border for.
Because after all, the only thing better with a beer
is a beer with friends.
Man, that was terrible. Bye, guys.